also the Edgewood Chamber of Commerce. And in my job regarding the rodeo, I help with administration of the celebration and also day-to-day things, marketing, sponsorships, requirements, lining up events. So it runs the whole camp. So lucky for Edgewood, we have a group of dedicated volunteers. The Edgewood Chamber of Commerce Board is actually the ones that started the rodeo way back when, and they pretty much handled most of that activities, and I'm probably the only paid staff. The rest are volunteers. It does really, the amount of money that's generated from the rodeo is substantial. We're looking at probably 6 figures to put the rodeo on, and the profit, it ranges between $15,000 to $30,000 a year. And when you think about that, that's not as much, but it does drive the local economy as far as all the food stands keep their profits. Mm-hmm. That is their, we charge them a minimum $200 fee for a local nonprofit to be there. So that money is in the community and it's put back to work with whether it's the Boy Scouts or the 4-H. And the profits are then put back into, I was just over at the elementary today, they had an author come in to speak. His speaking fee was paid by the Chamber of Commerce. Your wonderful sign outside that has all the electronics, that was close to $20,000 at the time when it was put in. The sign at 3 and 13 was about $15,000. So when you tell people, well, we put the money back in, they don't really realize the cost of
just certain items.
Yeah,
because it takes a lot to do one thing.
Yes. So they try to keep the money like a small reserve for just in case, but also to get the money out to the community. So everybody that buys a ticket really is supporting Agco schools, the local churches, the Boy Scouts, 4-H, by just buying a ticket and coming to the show.
Well, it's pretty important to me that the town is, I consider it one of the biggest small town businesses in the area, and we have to keep something going all the time, and we get a lot of young people back in business. That's important. And the biggest change is in businesses, not so much in population. Population hasn't grown so much, but businesses have, and if you take count, you'll find there's probably around 300 people come into this town every morning to work. And a lot of things like the daycare center make them things easier.
Sure.
And at Kendrick's, I think they're employing something like 60, and the Locker maybe 40.
Sure.
And you can add them all up, and there's a lot of people come to this little town. Oh yes, when the first one we didn't have any concessions at all, and now the churches and the rec center and all them make quite a lot of money that helps the community.
Sure.
I know our church does very well, and the others probably better.
only comes once a year.